any marketing organization I've ever been in charge of, you have 100 metrics probably that you're looking at. Well, you probably have a dozen, but the top ones have to have a currency sign in front of them, right? You have to be driving the business. And this existential data point is all about finding it's a business analysis. It's not a go-to-market analysis. It's certainly not a marketing analysis. It's certainly not even not much less a messaging. It's like is the where does the what's the pivot that the company kind of balances on, and how does it need to tip it, and how can go-to-market accomplish that? So I love
That
this.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You're a quick study, Clark, right? So that's the idea is can I find that existential data point? And then what do I do with that? Well, I have to say, this is me 6 months ago. You ready? So I get this little piece of like again, I'm gonna cognitive dissonance. I'm gonna go back 6 months ago to the old Doug and I'm gonna compare it to the new
Yeah.
Doug. The old Doug would be like, oh, I'm gonna build an entire performance marketing motion around this because this is just gold, right? And I have no idea how I'm going to identify all the companies that are out there, but I'm going to saturate enough of them that I'm going to find it's
There.
the Plinko machine again, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see if I can figure this out. Well, okay, let's invert that again. So again, existential data point is utilization below 70%. Well, what's really interesting is there are all sorts of public databases out there that actually, because guess what? When you do construction, you need bonding, insurance, permits.
Mhm.
There's all sorts of data out there. And so I have a
Yeah.
counterpoint to the existential data point, which is ongoing jobs. And every time you start a job, let's say a road grading job, you have to tell the local or the state Department of Transportation which equipment you're deploying. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, right? So suddenly I have all this data around which equipment is actually being deployed. And I
Yeah.
also have, now guess what? Guess who also has to file with the state? The equipment manufacturer, sorry, the equipment lessors. They've got to let them know what's on their lot, right?
Yeah.
So now this is where we get into vibe coding. And again, I don't want to blow people's minds. You're like, okay, I love this idea. How do I make it work? Guess what? AI can do this for you. And what I call this is called vibe coding. So this is you can use Python or you can use basically you can have Claude write JSON code to tap into APIs. And if I can do this, I'm sniffing 60. If some old fogey like me can do it, folks, please know you can do it too,
You
right?
can
It's
do
very
this too.
you can do this
That's
too.
right.
And so what you're doing is you're saying, okay, how do I sort of match data sets in this case to create this idea of what I'll call a permissionless value prop? And this, I'm telling you, I did not craft this. This is from my co-host Jordan Crawford. This is his brilliant, quantum mechanics physics brain that I never understand how it works, but it just understands this stuff. So I'm just parroting him here. But ultimately, what that is it is a message you would deliver in this case to an equipment lessor in, let's say, I don't know, Oklahoma, and it would say, "Hey, there are 3 jobs nearby that are missing this key piece of equipment that you happen to have on your lot, and
Mhm.
this represents this much in lost revenue for you. Would you like to know what the job is?" That's the message. That's the permissionless
And
value
that's
prop.
not, and I don't think that's what most people would think of as a marketing message, right? That's like you're clearing a market, right? That's an economic, it's almost like like someone would write an app to do that, right? It's a financial clearinghouse that you're running on their behalf, in order to have the opportunity to engage them, and 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 I guess then kind of deliver the payload of your messaging
You're right, but
into that conversation.
Clark, what was missing from that message? Me, and me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Meaning the brand. There's nothing about Texada in that message. Not an like nothing, right? It effectively says, "I see your pain, and I have a way to solve for that pain." So it can't be a party trick, though, Clark. It can't be like, "Look at me, and I'm able to match
yeah,
together data." It
yeah,
has to associate with the core value prop of the brand that's sending the message. Well, in this case, guess
yeah,
what Texada does, right? They're very, very good at sort of matching and saying, "Hey, here's your inventory. Here are ongoing jobs," right? How do we match?
yeah,
So it has to attach the value prop, but you immediately communicate your value prop by giving them a permissionless value prop. And instead of going, "Here's my landing page," and sending 16 more messages, you send one message and you go, "Are you interested in learning more?" So that's a good example of sort of how you invert, right? Always invert. That's how you invert. Go find that existential data point and sort of build your campaigns backwards out of that existential data point using publicly available data. Now, guess what, Clark? I don't know many marketers in the growth marketing industry space that can do that. That's the problem.
Right.
And so when you asked me before, it's like, Doug, what are you seeing? And I'm like, I think we have a skill gap problem is what we have. Because what I just explained, by the way, means learning a whole new way of using everyday AI and understanding data and how to manipulate that data using vibe coding to get to your pain-based segments.